So if a body is at rest at time t is equal to 0 and after 1 second it is reaching 1 meter, then its velocity will be 1 meter per second. And if the body is traveling 2 meters in the next second between t is equal to 1 second and t is equal to 2 seconds, its velocity will be 2 meter per second. And if the body is traveling 3 meters between the time limits 2 seconds and 3 seconds, then the velocity is said to be 3 meter per second. And for each second, if the velocity of the body is changing by 1 meter per second, then its acceleration is said to be 1 meter per second square. So this is how the displacement velocity are varying if a body is accelerating. So this is how you should understand the basics of kinematics. Similarly, the same rule apply if the body is decelerating.
So hello there everyone and good morning. This is Nikhil, and in today's video we are going to discuss the quick overview of basics of 12th and 11th class kinematics and dynamics to understand before learning engineering mechanics and vehicle dynamics. So generally in the previous videos a few of you have commented that I have to start with the very basics. So before understanding vehicle dynamics, you should understand some basics of engineering mechanics, and before learning engineering mechanics you should be very strong in your 11th class and 12th class basics of kinematics and dynamics, right? So in this video I am going to discuss about only the kinematics part, right? So there are three basic equations that you need to learn, that is v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, and v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So these three formulas you should definitely remember, and if you want the derivation of these equations, you need to refer to the textbooks that you have followed in your 11th class or your 12th class, right? So before you can actually start your understanding of engineering mechanics, or before tackling any engineering problem, this is the basics. That's why 12th class and basics and 11th class basics will form a absolute foundation before joining engineering. So generally for mechanical branches, civil engineering branches, and some electrical branches, I think so, engineering mechanics will be there in your second year, that is the third semester, right? So some branches they don't consider engineering mechanics, but if you are a civil engineering student or a mechanical engineering student, then engineering mechanics will be the absolute basics for all your subjects, like strength of materials, theory of machines, machine design. All those subjects will be based on engineering mechanics only, and even in fluid mechanics also some formulas will be used in using these EM formulas only, right? So in order to understand EM formulas, you should first understand the kinematics, right? So in kinematics there are three equations, like I said. So where u is the initial velocity, right? So this is a small u. Notation is also very very important. So if you are trying to follow any standard textbook, you will find these values. V is the final velocity, and t is the time, a is the acceleration, and s is the distance traveled by the body of the or the particle, right? So these all values you have to remember, otherwise it is not very clear when you try to learn the advanced subjects, right? So again, units plays a very important role in calculating anything in engineering problems, right? So you have to know the SI unit for every fundamental quantity. For example, length, the standard SI unit is meters, and for time it is seconds, and for velocity it is meters per second, and for acceleration it is meter per second square, right? So that is nothing but meter per second. So when you divide second with another second, meter per second, it becomes meter per second square, right? So this is the SI unit. So if you are using any formula, either V or S or V square minus U square is equal to 2AS, you have to substitute the values in SI units only. That is the standard practice. Without that, you cannot arrive at the correct answer. That is another thing you have to remember. That's why I'm stressing it again and again. And the thing is, in any problem, the quantities will not be always given in SI units. So that means you need to understand all the conversion formulas. That is, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, 1 cm, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 mm, 1 meter is equal to 1000 mm, and 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters, right? So either the question will be given in kilometers or centimeters or millimeters. You have to convert them into meters. And again, sometimes in question, the units will be given in English units, right? In English units, in the sense inches, feet, yards, and miles, right? These things also you need to know. Otherwise, it is very tough to tackle any engineering problem, right? 1 inch is equal to 25.4 millimeters. That is also equal to 2.54 cm. And again, 1 feet is equal to 12 inches. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, right? And 1 mile is actually 1.61 kilometers, right? And there is difference between mile and nautical mile. Is 1.76 kilometers. I will just see them whether it is correct or not. Right, 1.61, right. (1760 yards), right. So this is the conversion. And nautical mile. (1.852), right. Okay, this is 1.852. So you need to know what is the difference between mile and nautical mile. Mile is according to this conversion formula, and nautical mile is actually defined as certain degree that earth rotates, right? So generally nautical mile unit is mostly used in airlines and shipping industries, right? So nautical mile definition. What is meant by nautical mile? A nautical mile is based on the circumference of the earth. Like I said, it is equal to the distance on the earth that we are measuring is equal to 1 minute of latitude, right? See, earth has latitudes and longitudes, and again each latitude is divided into 0 degrees to 90 degrees, 0 degrees at the equator and 90 degrees at the north pole or the south pole, right? And in each degree there will be 60 minutes, right? See, again please don't confuse minute in terms of time and minute in angles. Both are different, right? So generally 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute and 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. That is the conversion of the in terms of time. But whereas when you are measuring angles, there will be 60 minutes and 1 degree and 60 seconds and again 1 minute. That is in terms of angle also. So I am actually explaining many things in just one video, but it is very much essential. Without knowing these things, it is very tough, right? See, it is slightly more than a statute mile, and another thing is also there, that is statute mile is another. A nautical mile is a unit of measurement used in air, marine and space navigation and for the definition of territorial waters. Historically, it was defined as 1 minute of latitude along any line of longitude. Today, an international nautical mile is defined as exactly 1852 meters. That is the thing. And if the speed is 1 nautical mile per hour, it is known as knot, right? This is also another important thing that you need to know. Okay, all these conversions are very important. And again, in terms of time, 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds in terms of time, and 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. Minutes is actually denoted with apostrophe in case of angle, right? And 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, right? Seconds is denoted with double apostrophe, okay, that is double quotes. And single apostrophe is for minutes. And again, in inches also, if it is single apostrophe, it means 1 feet, and if double quotes means it is 1 inch. Okay, so based on the question, we need to understand whether he is telling about distance, or whether he is telling about time, or whether he is telling about these degrees, right? So based on the question only, you need to interpret this. So it is slightly confusing, but you need to just make sure that you are perfect in all these units. Okay, so this is about the very basics of the kinematics, and in the next video I will explain a few problems so that you will be confident in these terms, and in the upcoming videos I will also discuss about the dynamics. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video.